Welcome to Sons of a Gun, a podcast about the DC Universe. I'm Alex Gunn.
I'm Justin Gunn.
I'm Pete.
And this is our Gold Summit, where we get together and really form an alliance to take over Podcast City. We're
And gold, and by gold you mean beer summit. It's a beer summit.
Yeah. The Golden Mountains, the Rockies. Head for the Rockies. Coors. There we go. It's the Coors Summit. Yeah. We're going to be talking about, of course, episode 6 of the Penguin title Summit. Of course. You figured that out from what we were talking about. That wasn't nonsense. If you haven't checked it out on HBO or Max, please go watch it. But to spoil it, things are really picking up here as we get into the second half of the season, while Sal Maroni and Sofia Gigante are on the trail of Oz Cobb, trying to track him down. He is literally underground in the tunnels. He's built up his Bliss empire. Victor is his number 2, but the rest of the gangs are really pushing back against him, so he comes up with this plan to give away the product for free, to essentially force them into a position where they have to talk to him, which leads to the Gold Summit at the end, where he seemingly unites all the other gangs of Gotham against the Falcones and the Maronis, but at the same time, Frances, I was about to say Deirdre. I've been calling her Deirdre all podcasts, but that is the name of the actress, not the character. The character is Frances Cobb.
That all
I'm
the time.
sorry.
Yeah,
anyway, Frances Cobb, Oz's mom, is slowly deteriorating because of her dementia, which is a real bummer for everybody concerned. And yeah, she asks Oz to kill her if she totally loses her mind, but she seems to get it back together when he brings the power to Crown Point back on.
She loves electricity. Man, it just brings her to life.
Pretty weird that they didn't play the electric slide at the end of the episode. I'm just going to say.
Yes.
That would have been fun.
That is definitely, that's a song everyone wants to hear all the time.
I think that undercuts the tone of what they're trying to do.
No, man. Everybody loves. Have you ever been to a wedding or like a bar mitzvah or literally?
Nope. Do they often play that song at weddings? I hear it just usually from my iPod when I'm playing it.
Yeah, I know Ryan Seacrest always plays it. He's like, and a shocker for the 4,000th week in a row, #1 on the top 40 charts, Electric Slide. And there you go.
I'm going to go ahead and say that song sucks. That's a song.
Wow, how dare
That's a song that no one wants to hear. Who's into the electric?
I don't know. People
after a couple beers, come on.
Couple goldies. Throw back a couple goldies, you get electric. Mm-hmm. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
In any case, she gets the power back on. They're dancing, and at the same time, Sofia, thanks to some information from Eve Karlo, has tracked down his mom, realizes his mom is alive, and things are about to get real bad right here in Gotham City. One last little note. Victor kills a man, not with a car, but this time shooting Squid in the neck and killing him. Rip Squid, everybody's favorite TV character. So there you go. Lots going on in this episode. I'm just going to throw this out here. I think this was my favorite episode so far.
What?
Really?
Yeah. I really like this one. There was a propulsiveness to everything that was going on from the beginning up until the end. That opening montage where Oz is laying out like how they have the whole operation going, the shots of Vic on the bike riding into there, really cool. And then the Gold Summit at the end, same sort of thing. I was like, oh, this is a little silly with the beer, but I love this because we're heading into straight up gang war territory. Very exciting. Yeah. Lots of cliffhangers. And of course, all the stuff with Sofia and Sal I thought was really nuanced and fascinating. The sort of pseudo father-daughter relationship that they formed together here, even though both of them know exactly what's going on and they don't want to do it. All the stuff with Deirdre, all the stuff with Vic. I just thought this was firing on all cylinders.
I mean, it was
counterpoint.
I felt like it was nice because I felt like, oh, we're building towards something, which is great. But it is heartbreaking to watch Victor slide into this life. And
electric slide?
Nope.
Yeah, he's really electric sliding into this murder.
But and also like, I don't know. During the beer summit there, you kind of like, what would you do for a free beer? Because he's like, hey, listen, sure, I've killed everyone on a whim most of my life. But if I cheers you, I won't do it to you guys. You know what I mean? Because it's like, why would you be okay with this? Like, he's right. If you work together, you can be more powerful. That are true facts. But it's hard to take from the guy who's like, if you become an inconvenience to me at any turn, you're fucked. I just don't know why you would. Because the Triad guy was like, yo, he's right. Everything he's saying is right. Oz has never once done anything that was good or to protect people. So I don't know why you're all just being like, yeah, let's do this together.
He's pretty good at saying "you and me, kid."
Yeah, sure is.
Which he does again this episode.
Yes. Here, I really like that scene, and I'll throw out what as I already said, but like...
I wasn't done with my list of complaints, though.
No, let's just go one by one. Let's go one by one.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Golden Summit first. Here's what I really liked about this, is you're 100% right. Oz is untrustworthy. He is absolutely going to screw them over at the first possible opportunity. The Triad guy absolutely knows that, but the rest of them don't necessarily know that. Those are all gangs straight from the comic books, and mostly from storylines that we're kind of touching on here. They're from the No Man's Land storyline that we're touching on a little bit with the show. They're from the War Games storyline that comes right after No Man's Land that I think we're heading into. And also I don't remember the name of the Irish gang, like the Murphys or the O'Doyles or whatever. The Sullivans.
Wow.
There we go.
O'Doyle rules. O'Doyle rules.
I
just think if you hand someone a beer and they're going to be like, when do I get to open this? Yeah, eventually they'll agree to anything.
My point is the rest of the gangs, other than the Triads, are like, yeah, this seems like a good deal. And he's giving essentially the exact same speech that Sofia gave to what was formerly the Falcone gang, now the Gigante gang, in the 2 episodes back, right?
It's almost like the same writer wrote the same speech.
Well, but it's parallel. They are on parallel paths. Just the problem is, I think Sofia means it, being like, hey, we're all going to be family, and Oz absolutely does not, which is indicated by that little smile he gives at the end, which I thought was so great. Like, just enough so you can't see it over the beer, but we, the audience, could see it. The thing with the Triads that I took away is they're the last ones to do it, not because they're like, all right, you son of a bitch, we're in, so much as they're in a position now where every single other gang has said, we're on Iz's side and we're backing you. And if they walk away from it, they're screwed. They are in a terrible position. They don't have any moves left.
The way the actor plays it, the head of the Triads, he's just sort of like deer in headlights, like, okay, yeah. It was an interesting scene because it had the sports movie vibe of like, we're all going to do this together. But it progressively got scarier for, I think, the way the performers played it, which I thought was definitely well done. And I also think, like you said, like as lame as the Beer Summit sounded, but I think it's Penguin style lame. Like it's purposefully lame. He's dumb. Like he does the first thought because his superpower is he will fuck you over at any point. So he can do the dumb move and it just works out that way because of his
But it's snakiness. So weird because the way they have us set up, we're supposed to be rooting for Oz to like not fuck people over. It's like this show is like, oh man, maybe this time Oz will be nice to people. Nope. But maybe this time he's going to be nice to people. No.
Yeah, we are in the same position as the guy in the Triads. And I think I understand what you're saying, Pete, and this is not to call you out, but like I know you always want to root for the hero in the show, and I get that. He's not the hero. He is going to burn everything to the ground to get what he wants.
It's fucked up. Squid was the hero.
Oh, no.
I think. Am I reading that right? Squid's the hero?
Vic used to be a hero, and now we're slowly watching him turn into the Penguin, and it's fucking heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Well, hold on.
It's all right. He's going to be beaten to death next episode, so I'm not too worried.
Oh, cool. I mean, then the show will totally been worth it.
No. That's going to be the last episode.
The last episode?
Yes.
Wait, can we talk about this for a little bit?
They can't kill Vic before the end.
No. Well, he's going, okay, so the last shot of the episode is Sofia in the apartment, right, holding a crowbar. Presumably she's used that to break in or something like that, and she finds out that Francis...
I believe it's the murder weapon she's going to use to beat the shit out of Oz's mom.
I think she just had car trouble. You guys don't know.
Right. Whatever it is. Maybe she is going to open up a safe or bar some crows. I don't know what you use crowbars for. My point is...
Maybe open a beer.
We've talked about this before. Vic is 100% definitely the Jason Todd stand-in terms of being the Robin to Oz's Batman. Sophia coming in and being a Joker stand-in and holding a crowbar is a 100% call-out to Death in the Family, the classic Batman storyline, which found Jason Todd being beaten to death, mostly, by the Joker with a crowbar. So
yeah.
I think what actually is going to happen next episode is Francis is going to get killed, and Oz is going to blame Vic for it and then kill Vic.
Next episode, you think that's going to happen?
I think.
Wait.
Francis.
What did you just say?
Next episode.
Are you talking about Oz's mom as Francis?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure I did.
Yeah. My point is that, like, Sophia is probably going to try to kill Oz's mom as revenge for Alberto. Whether she wants to or not, she might ultimately feel bad about it. But taking that away from Oz, killing his mom, is something that he won't necessarily be able to take out on Sophia. Vic was supposed to protect her. He wasn't there because he was at the Cold Summit. And ultimately, whoever gets beaten to death with that crowbar, it's 100% going to happen next episode. And Vic is going to pay the price.
Well, here's the thing. Because Sophia showed up thinking she was going to beat Oz to death with a crowbar because she thought that's where he was hiding. And then she found the mom, and she has this moment, which I thought was very interesting. Instead of it ending with her being like, oh, now all you motherfuckers are going to die, she almost has this pause of like, oh my God, I'm witnessing such a cute, adorable moment. What kind of a monster am I? Maybe she's going to jump in and start doing the electric slide with them.
I love how you're seeing the better nature in these people, the absolute worst people ever committed to the television screen.
Well, hold on a second. A couple of things. Like, I think at each point that Sophia has met someone who I'm like, well, she's definitely going to kill that person. Maroni, Eve in this episode, and then Francis and Vic, she has not. She has been like, you know what, there's a smarter move here. What's my real play?
Yeah.
And because I think two parts, she does have a little shred of decency in her where she's like, why am I killing innocent people when I want to kill Penguin? I want to kill Oz. I don't want to become what I've been accused of being, Hangman, someone who just kills people randomly. So I think she has I wouldn't call it a moral system, but she has a guardrail of how she acts. So I don't actually think, maybe Francis will die next episode. Vic stays. Penguin has to kill Vic, and I think it has to be the last episode. Because I don't think we're going to be able to come back and be like, all right, what's Penguin up to this week after he murders Vic, the only good character in the show?
Stop saying that, because that would be really fucked up if Penguin
it's
murders
absolutely
Vic.
going to happen. Let me
don't
throw
want to
something
see
else
that
out,
happen.
though.
I don't want to see that happen.
There's a major facet of the Death in the Family storyline, which is about the Joker going to Lebanon to get a nuclear bomb. Do you think that's going to happen with Sophia in this show? Because yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
Yes.
I think that's the geopolitical story we want the Penguin to do.
Justin, I appreciate you bringing that up, because there is this thing where she shows up to Eve's place with a gun and she has a nice conversation. And then because doesn't kill her, she gets the information, which I was pissed at Eve at. I was like, yo, man, she was leaving. You didn't have to give her the Crown Heights thing. I think it's a little fucked up that you did.
Crown Point.
I live in Crown Heights.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I was thinking of you.
How is that, by the way, after the massive flood caused by the Riddler?
I just held some pliers up to my local council member, and I'm hoping to get the power juiced back out, you know? That's the only way to get stuff done in this bureaucracy.
I hope, though, that it is going to be one of these things where... because I don't know if she can beat both Oz's mom to death and Vic at the same time. You know what I mean?
Like, there's two ends to a crowbar.
What is she?
The
Donatello?
joy on her face when you said that was psychotic. The fact that you have children makes me nervous, because the joy you got in your face when you were like, there's two ends to a crowbar.
Somebody's getting beaten with a crowbar next episode. I think it's probably Vic. I don't think he's going to die, but I do think Francis Cobb is going to die and Vic is going to be blamed for it.
Maybe, but I don't know. I just think Vic has a couple more episodes where he has to be Penguin's buddy before we get to that. And because honestly, if we want to talk about Vic for a second, his path here is he kills. And he's like fallen into this trap. He likes it clearly. When he first talks to Squid, he's like, happy
I don't think
with
he
his
liked
life.
it. He looked pretty upset when he killed
I don't think he likes
Squid.
murdering Squid. He likes the life that he's in. And honestly, you see him make the choice to kill Squid. He's fine when Squid is threatening him. When Squid threatens Oz, that's when he makes the choice to kill him. And he shoots him in the grossest place possible, the old neck hole.
That's an accident, though. Like,
you shoot a squid anywhere, they're all fluids. You know what I mean? They're going to be...
They they deflate. They make a balloon noise.
Yeah. You got to watch out because they'll fly around, too, if they're...
that's
so you got to be... Yeah.
Yeah. He's a balloon.
The Squid and the Balloon. That's my favorite movie.
We're all just balloons. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. Shit, yeah.
Nice. I don't think... I mean, he obviously doesn't want to kill Squid, and he feels bad about it, but I do think that is also, plot-wise, to keep beating the same drum, a turning point for Vic in terms of... Granted, like, he probably killed that guy by hitting him with the Maserati a couple of episodes back, but this is a purposeful murder that he does, and that is going to lead to his own doom textually.
Yeah, it's the slow fall of Vic, and we get like the sort of Lady Macbeth moment when he's cleaning his shoes, the out damn spot type thing, I feel like is what we were doing there. And I like Penguin's like, hey, you kill somebody, you just gotta take it easy, go get a nice dinner. I was like, what the...
he said it gets easier. It gets easier. Because we all know once your first kill's the hardest, second one's easier, and then the one after that just,
is the one with the hairy chest. Everybody knows. I believed Oz in that moment. Like, that to me felt like the truest emotion he's shown, maybe not the entire show, other than with his mother, but like, I truly believed what he was saying to Vic at that moment, being like, giving him this very fatherly advice, because
you're such a sucker, dude. This guy, all he does is lie.
Again, in
and
terms
then
of the
you're
text, I think it parallels what's going on with Sal and Sophia. You got Sal and Sophia, you've got Oz and Vic, and they're both on similar trains, though they're not exactly the same character.
Well, and I think
I felt it was weird when he was putting Sophia's makeup on at the same time as Oz was putting makeup on his mom. I was like, this is just getting weird.
There's usually a lot of people will put on makeup at the same time in the world.
Yeah,
you usually don't see it. You don't see it as much. Statistically speaking, I'm always speaking statistically. Okay. I do think the tragic fall of Vic, though, is Oz does care for him. He wants him to be his, capo, his next guy up. But again, Penguin's superpower is, at the end of the day, he will kill anyone for any reason if it just helps him a little bit. And that's what we're going to get eventually, I believe. But I want to just take it back to the beginning. You guys were saying how much, or Alex, you were saying how much you liked this episode. I do really like how this episode, it felt like a real chapter turn. We get a monologue at the top, new phase, a lot of focus on gas.
Also,
not
she
having
calls
gas,
out that she's
gas.
not the hangman, and the father was. So, we got that cleared up, which was great.
That we definitely already knew.
Yeah, that
but she said it out loud. You know what I mean?
We literally watched it.
Yeah, but it was nice to kind of have her say it too. You know what I mean? Because part of me was like, you were dressing a little bit like maybe you are trying to be the hangman with that noose thing you had going before. But
I mean, honestly,
I
won't believe it until I hear it from Squid. Like, I want to get Squid's perspective on it. So hopefully there'll be a flashback where Squid is also like, she's not the hangman, and that'll clinch it.
One thing I wanted to talk about is how my love of kicks got me in trouble in this episode, because I love sneakers and seeing different kinds of sneakers and stuff like that. So we saw he got blood on his sneakers, but they changed shoes, and because I pay it so much attention, that's why I appreciate when Justin had a picture of his shoes on his jacket. Like, we can't see his sneakers, we don't know what he's wearing, but if you had like a little sticker or a little pin that lets us know, great, we know what kind of sneaker you have on.
You could just look down with most people at their feet.
Yeah, but I'm saying we can't see your shoes right now. You know what I mean?
Whenever Pete's 100% right. Whenever I run a meet and greet, instead of those little hello stickers, I ask everybody to bring a sticker of their sneakers and put it on their jacket.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then you can be like, oh my God, I also love Jordan 11s. You know what I mean?
If there's anything, there's nothing more meaningful I could say right now than that makes total sense.
Great. So Yeah, my point was.
I actually do want to hear about this. I'm curious to hear what
there was an edit mistake where it was he had the bloody sneakers on, and then they cut back to him on the bike, and they were different from the ones that he murdered in, and then he was like, "Hey, clean up, change your clothes." I was like, "Oh, that editing mistake really pulled me out of that moment."
You don't think he changed his sneakers? Took off his bloody sneakers and put on other ones?
That's what I thought. He pulls up on the bike. He's got these sick Jordan 1s on. Then he gets off the bike, and then he's wearing the ones he murdered in before. And then he said change. And I was like, he was already just wearing different sneakers.
Wow, you've cracked the ultimate failure of this show. Yeah. It is interesting, Pete. You love cars. You're talking about a bicycle now, and now sneakers, because sneakers are the cars for human bodies.
For feet. And that's the thing. When you live in New York City, as long as we have, or
you don't live in New York. You don't live in New York. I'm sorry, you're not a New Yorker. You're not a New Yorker.
I transferred my love of cars to sneakers because that's the cars of the feet.
And now it's back to cars now that you live in a country bumpkin or whatever.
Yeah.
If you could get little race car shoes, would you do that, Pete?
Oh my God, race car bed? Are you kidding me? Race car shoes, you name it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Nice. Great. Dream.
I wish you were a transformer. Oh, if we said that at the same time, it would have come true. But
oh man,
is that accurate?
Too late. You were saying something, I thought, about the first scene, Justin, or were you done?
I was just trying to say that I thought that it felt like we turned a page here in an interesting way, and I think now we're on the downward slide of everyone. Everyone's getting worse and doing worse things, while seemingly getting better, like we've been talking about. You want to talk Maroney and Sofia?
Actually, before I forget, I wanted to ask you guys a question, something I was wrestling with while I was watching the episode.
So, the worst therapist ever?
I loved the part where after he's in his BDSM sex thing with Sofia, where he's like, let me know if I need to use some of my special skills. And I was like, what special skills? You're going to let him lie down on a couch and do therapy or something? What are we talking about here?
This was set up in the last episode where he's like, I want to help you. I can be free. I'll help you. I'll do my thing. And I'm like, what? And then he said it again. He's going to torture Oz.
I know that. I know 100%. But like, why?
By making Oz go to therapy? Like, what? How is he going to torture Oz?
I mean, I guess
using that rave light stuff. Like what?
Oh, he could do the rave light.
No, I think. Well, I mean, it's just been set up so clearly that he worked at Arkham and did therapy torture on people. He says, please, can I help you? He says, hey, are you done sex whipping me? Can I help you do something else, like torture? She's like, no, not yet. And then next episode is when it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And I think if we do get some sort of breaking of Oz type thing, I do wonder if we'll finally find out what happened to his brothers, something that they keep dancing around. Like, it wasn't this episode. I think it was the previous episode when he was like, the city took him. And then this
episode saw the picture, and they were like, yeah.
Yeah, and something clearly happened to them. There's a theory I saw online that when they're going into the tunnels, he looks at like this overflow door or something like that. I'm forgetting the exact name. So the theory is that like maybe they did drown or something, or he killed them or something like that.
They probably pissed him off and he murdered them.
Yes, that's possible. I'm going to throw out a theory to you guys that has nothing to do with that overflow door, but because we know that Vic's parents drowned in the flood, I do think potentially there is some sort of parallel with water. What I think happened is that Frances, probably in her first fit of dementia, drowned them in the bathtub. And I say that like that's a very Medea thing to do, so you're working in the mythology, Greek tragedy of it all, but also she keeps getting in the bathtub over and over again. Yeah. So I think there's something to that.
That's people take baths or showers. That's something people do every day. She keeps ending up
there. There's something with the water. There's
people
something
do
with the
that
bathtub.
every day. It's called getting clean, man. It's important to do.
I think she killed them. I think he hid her because of that, because he didn't want her to go to prison for the crime. And that's something that maybe she remembers, maybe not, but we're going to
find out. That'd be
Those
interesting.
Those kids were pretty old to be drowning them in the tub. They were like teens, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, man. You can drown
It could be interesting because Sofia did kind of pause there at the door where she was like, Oz lied to me about her mom. And then it almost seemed like she was a little thinking like maybe trying to work out like why he would do that and what's the angle here.
Yeah, I mean, the other crazy theory, which I think we've talked about before, is they changed the name from Oswald Cobblepot to Oswald Cobb because William Cobb is the name of a Talon who is a soldier for the Court of Owls. So the other possibility with like the city took them is the city being the Court of Owls took them and recruited them to be Talons, but that sounds crazy.
You're
that's the part that's crazy.
Alex, you're Mephistoing.
I am. I'm
Your Mephisto is showing.
Too close to the sun. Do we want to talk now? Can we talk about Sofia and Sal? Is that okay? What do you want to say?
Yeah, let's do it. I think these scenes are nice. They're sort of partners and replacing different aspects in their lives. Sofia's sort of like feeling more like a father. There's a father thing happening there. Obviously we have the Penguin Cookbook coming soon, hopefully with the the Koresh Bottom John. Very excited.
It's better with the yogurt. That's how Tosh liked it. Yeah. I loved Clancy Brown's reaction in that scene. The whole thing of like, he's clearly pushing away the hurt of his wife and son being murdered. And he realizes in that moment that he is not literally replacing, but putting Sofia in that significant role when she says it's better with the yogurt. And his like pain reaction, I thought it felt so real to me.
Yeah, it was good. I will say it's very funny. Maroney, for someone who has spent many years in jail, recently stabbed, lost his family, he looks amazing.
He does.
He cleans up right, you know? And sure, he's sad, but his hair looks
And they say if you get stabbed, you should have an expensive bottle of wine. It really helps.
But you got to make sure you plug the hole you were stabbed in so it doesn't just go
it doesn't go right out. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to waste it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's good wine.
Yeah.
Cartoon.
I'm surprised they didn't say what the name of the wine is. That's not a big deal, but I feel like that's such a a Chateau Bordeaux 1964 rather than...
you wanted to use made-up nonsense language?
Yeah. Or something. Specificity, Ben.
Yes. Yes, a Crown Point Pinot Gris. Lovely.
I also really like the scene. I think I said this before, but I also really like the scene with Eve and Sofia when she goes in the apartment. I'm glad Roxy, the true hero of the show, is still on the side of right.
Vic's bride. Vic's future bride.
Yeah.
Betrays him.
She's going to bury him on his deathbed, I think, after he's beaten to death.
It was great the way she was like, I told Roxy.
Deathbeds work, bro.
I love that line of like, I told Roxy to send you up. You know, I thought that was like.
I thought that was great. And I loved the arc of that scene, how they kept going back and forth and they kept moving the power back and forth from each other. I thought that was really nicely done. Also, shout out to the enormous umbrella lamp that Eve has hanging from her ceiling. Great Penguin Easter egg, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Strange one.
I don't know if that's an Easter egg, but...
No, it definitely is.
It's just an item.
Great set decorator move. Whoever spotted that was like, we should put an umbrella.
Large, though. It was huge.
It's an umbrella lamp. What do you want it to be small? It wouldn't feel the same. It's got to be...
Well, I thought Pete going to bat.
Yeah, Sophia should have been like, oh, what is this? A reference to the Penguin?
I guess when you move out to the country, you have space for giant umbrella lamps, right?
That's right. That's right. You get more room.
Hey, your hayseed in your mouth.
Wait.
Question. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. That reminds me of the thing that I was going to ask you guys earlier that I was sort of wrestling with all episode. So there's a clear theme throughout this episode, like across the bow episode about power, literally. Like Oz is struggling with the power. He's trying to get the power back on. And when he finally gets the power, it happens at the same time as the Gold Summit, he starts to lose it. And the same thing is sort of happening with everybody across the episode. What I was struggling with is like, how do you guys feel about something like that? Because I fell on the side of this works for me and I liked it because it does create these thematic parallels. But do you feel like it's hitting over the head too much when you have Oz trying to wrestle with an engine being like, I just can't get this power to work. I can't get the power back on.
Yeah, it was a little weird how Oz sat down. I was like, oh, you can fix a generator? You just know how to work generators now? All right, sure, yeah, tinker with that.
It's metaphorical. It's a metaphorical generator.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I was just
I
like,
can fix a metaphor.
All of a sudden, you know how to grow mushrooms better than anyone else. After just finding 2 buckets, now all of a sudden you can just, because you work in the sewer, so it's easy. And then all of a sudden you can fix generators. Like, who the fuck are you?
Everything gets easier when you work in the sewer. I've always thought.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
That's where I go to think.
Smart.
I think the implication was that he has a lot of people who are working for him. You have that one guy who was working on the power down there, so clearly he's in charge of that. There was a quick shot of a guy who was not, I'm blanking on the name, who was Sofia's doctor who was working on the mushrooms. But there's another guy there also with a ratty beard and ratty hair who's clearly working on the mushrooms. And I think that character is named Dr. DeSoto, like the mouse dentist for the William Steig book. But I believe he is the one who was working on the mushrooms. Dr.
Nice.
DeSoto.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a Ratatouille situation where they're, the rats are working people like puppets down the sewer?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Breaking rat.
Yeah.
It's a real rat drug.
That's how they're going to learn karate. That's how you do it, is rats in the
don't
sewer.
Don't you fucking bring Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into
Sorry,
this.
I'm not trying to splinter off the conversation.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a thought I had at the top of the episode in the monologue. He said, Penguin says, "You know how many boroughs there are in Gotham?" But then he doesn't say. How many are there? He made it sound like there's like 50.
Yeah.
Well, the map, I haven't gone back and look at it, and I meant to, but they actually show the map of Gotham, and there's like 3...
A lot of fun shots of Gotham in this episode, especially in the start there. You got to see some cool stuff.
There's 3 distinct islands, I believe. I did screenshots so I could look, but yeah, it's huge.
That's canonical, because there's so many bridges, and again, it looks like Manhattan. But I don't know, I thought it was funny, and the way that... we just see how successful they are in a motorbike drug dealer. But similarly, when it was like, Oz is definitely going to get caught in the first half of the season, I was like, he's definitely going to get caught. You can't run a motorbike drug gang under the streets without someone being like, should we look underground for where all this noise is coming from?
No. Only he and his brothers know about the tunnels underground. Nobody else knows about them.
Yeah. Other couple lines I thought were fun.
Especially not Batman, who also has tunnels under Gotham. But
Batman's
I guess these
busy. He's busy.
No, he's busy.
Yeah.
He's more of an in-the-air guy.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's fighting a gritty, realistic version of Condiment King.
It would be fun to just see a random Batman Condiment King fight in the background.
I would love just the background, like you see the spotlight go up, and then all of a sudden on the rooftops you see him jumping around a little bit.
No, I want it to be more like when someone who doesn't want to be in a home video is like, sorry, and just ducks out a shot. And I was like, I'm not in this yet. I'm in the movie part.
Other lines that you liked, Justin?
I can't believe there was a Mork and Mindy reference in this.
I was going to shout that out. Mork and Mindy are flexing. Very funny.
That was wild. I sort of want to hold on to that. And then
wait, when was that? How did I miss that?
He calls Maroni and Sofia Mork and Mindy.
Oh my
so
God.
Weird.
That's hilarious.
Does not make sense. He calls the council members warm fuck pad mansion. Dream residence right there.
Oh, talking about the councilman, I just wanted to give a shout out to after he's done clipping the councilman's nose and the guy runs to get the power back on. I don't remember what the exact line is, but him helping him get out of the parking space. And he's like, come on, you've got plenty of room.
You've got more room than you think. Just take it straight back. And then I also like how he goes, hey, don't worry about it. It's just your nose. I was like, you just been pulling on his nose.
Good. This character is so good. There are so many things going on at all times. Colin Farrell is doing so many things. It is such an awful delight to watch.
Really classic. Yes, very, very. The layers are really smartly done here. The other thing I want to say is there's such a classic thing in any of shows like crime-based shows where someone gets handed a bag of money and they're just like, "Great work," and they just throw it in the side. This happens at the beginning. I was like, don't you count the money? A bag of money is not an amount of money.
Mm-hmm. No, but you know by weight.
You think he's like, $7,000.
100%.
Right. Shouts.
I'll give a shout out to, I think the beer brand was Tricorner Gold Beer, and Tricorner is an area in Gotham, so I thought that was a fun little bit of a prop design. Shout out to the prop designers on the show. Also, the gangs, I forgot to write down one of them. I think it's the Crown Gang, which was from the War Games storyline. There's the Odessa Mob, which is from No Man's Land. The Low Boys, which is the female gang. They're also from No Man's Land, I want to say. The Triads, bunch of different types of DC Comics. And the Sullivans, very specifically the Irish gang, they show up in, I think it's the second issue of Long Halloween, where they've been tasked to take out Harvey Dent. They fail, and then Holiday Killer kills all of them. So if I remember correctly, they show up on one page being like, okay, job well done, and then Holiday kills them all. So there you go. Fun little Easter eggs there, I think.
Shout out to Long Halloween. Nice.
Yeah. Anything else from this episode you guys want to call out?
I think that's all I had.
Yeah. I'll just give a shout out also to Deirdre O'Connell, who played Frances. I thought the scene, we didn't really talk about it, but
she plays Frances, Alex. Her death has not happened yet. Quit pushing it along.
R.I.P.
No, she's still doing it.
She got crowbarred, as far as I'm concerned. She's mark my words. Mark my words. That's exactly what's going to happen. And then we're going to go right into the Court of Owls storyline with William Cobb, his secret fourth brother. We'll see what happens about that. And then Roxy is going to marry Vic's dead body.
Oh, man. I can't wait.
What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I thought she was great. All those scenes talking about the dementia were really weird, really real. And what Deirdre O'Connell is like doing with her face, she's sort of like doing all this acting with her lips. Where she
and her fingers, too.
Yeah. Really, really good.
The acting across the board is amazing in this show. I mean, even the guy playing Vic, you know, the use of the stutter and all that, it's just really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Squid.
Stop.
Iconic. Do you think he's going to get an Emmy, right? Like, I think just calling it right now.
Yeah, he's going to get an undersea Emmy, underwater Emmys, under the sea.
Mm-hmm. They air 2 weeks before, I believe, the Emmys.
Yes, exactly. And it's harder to hear people, underwater. It's like a little glub.
Yeah. I think he's going to EGOT, which is Underwater Emmy Granny.
Granny.
He wins a Granny. I think Frances is going to win a Granny if Oz can have some kids.
Come on already. When is he going to have kids? All right. I think
Granny.
Underwater Emmy, a Granny, a Ovaltine. And
don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Yep. And
easy to win that
2-bar, which is 2 crowbars, so you can bash 2 people's heads in at the same time.
2 crowbars, you can bash 4 people, right, Alex?
Yep. With both sides. Well, that's a great place to wrap up.
He killed 4 robins? Wow. Joker's efficient.
If you'd like to support this podcast and all the podcasts we do, patreon.com/Comic Book Club. Also, we do a live show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. to Facebook and YouTube. Come hang out. We would love to chat with you about the Penguin, Apple, Spotify, Android, or the app of your choice. To subscribe, listen, and follow the show at Comic Book Live on Twitter/X, Comic Book Club Live on TikTok and Instagram, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, Dad, we didn't really talk about you this episode. I miss you.
Yeah, we really miss you, Dad.
Yeah.
And could you introduce us to Squid? Not the actor, the real Squid.
Yeah, the real Squid.
I want to meet the real Squid.